Listen to me. You are not replaceable. You are not a backup plan. You are not someone's second option. You are one of a kind, irreplaceable, and extraordinary. When life tries to tell you that you're less, when people treat you like you're easy to forget, that's the moment you rise higher than ever before. The secret is not to fight for recognition. It's to live in a way that makes your presence unforgettable. Stand tall, walk with fire. Build a life so bold and authentic that nobody dares to question your worth again. You don't need to prove anything with words. Let your actions, your growth, your brilliance, and your unstoppable energy do the talking. Because the truth is, no one can take your place. Your power, your light, your journey, there's only one version of it in this world, and that version is you. So step up, claim your space, and let the world watch as you shine like the star you were always meant to be. Owning your uniqueness begins with understanding that there is no one else in the world who can bring to the table what you do. Your story, your experiences, your perspective, your voice, they are one of a kind. Too often, the world tries to mold us into copies, to fit us into boxes, to make us compare ourselves with others as if we're all meant to be identical. But the truth is, your difference is your power. What sets you apart is exactly what makes you unforgettable. It means celebrating the very things you may have once thought were flaws or weaknesses. The quirks, the scars, the struggles, they are not limitations. They are the markers of your individuality. They tell the story of who you are, and no one else can replicate that. To own your uniqueness is to wear your identity like a crown, to walk with the knowledge that you don't need to blend in when you were born to stand out. It's about rejecting the need to conform to someone else's idea of what success, beauty, or worth should look like. It's about defining those standards for yourself and having the courage to live by them. When you own your uniqueness, you stop chasing comparison and instead start building your path. You radiate authenticity in a way that draws people toward you because deep down everyone is inspired by someone who dares to be fully themselves. Every time you choose authenticity over imitation, every time you trust your instincts instead of following the crowd, every time you showcase your true self without apology, you are not just owning your uniqueness, you are commanding respect and leaving an imprint that no one else can replace. Unshakable confidence is not about walking into a room and thinking you are better than everyone else. It's about walking into that room and not needing to compare yourself to anyone at all. It is the steady flame within you that refuses to flicker, even when the winds of doubt or judgment try to blow it out. Confidence at this level comes from knowing your worth so deeply that external validation becomes a bonus, not a necessity. It's about carrying yourself with a presence that speaks before you even say a word. The way you stand, the way you look people in the eye, the way you take up space without apology, these are all reflections of your inner belief system. People remember confidence not because of loudness, but because of the quiet assurance that radiates from someone who knows exactly who they are and where they're headed. Unshakable confidence also comes from preparation and growth. When you commit to learning, improving, and refining yourself, you build a foundation that no criticism or comparison can shake. It is the product of self-respect, of honoring your boundaries, and of refusing to shrink yourself for the comfort of others. Confidence is not a mask, it's a lifestyle. It's the voice inside you that says, I am enough, I am capable, I am deserving, even on the days when the world tries to convince you otherwise. When you embody this kind of confidence, opportunities open, people listen, and respect follows naturally. Because the truth is, others see you the way you see yourself. And if you choose to stand tall, to radiate certainty, and to move with conviction, your confidence becomes unshakable, an energy that cannot be ignored, replaced, or forgotten. Doubt is something every powerful person has faced. Whether it came from others or from within themselves, there will always be voices that say you're not good enough, not smart enough, not strong enough. Sometimes those voices are whispered by people who underestimate you, and sometimes they're echoes of your own fears. But here's the truth. Doubt is not a dead end, it's a challenge. And challenges are meant to be risen above. To rise higher from doubt, you must turn it into fuel. Every time someone questions your ability, let that fire push you to go further. Every time you hear that voice in your head telling you can't, answer back with action that proves you can. Doubt has a way of testing whether you truly believe in yourself, and when you rise above it, you grow stronger, sharper, and more unstoppable than before. It also requires resilience. You can't stop doubt from showing up, but you can choose how to respond. Instead of letting it paralyze you, use it as a mirror that shows where you need to grow, adapt, and evolve. Let it sharpen your focus instead of breaking your spirit. When others underestimate you, don't waste time defending yourself with words. Show them with results. Let your progress, your strength, and your achievements speak in a language doubt cannot silence. Rising higher from doubt is about choosing faith in yourself over fear of failure. It's about refusing to let small minds shrink your big dreams. Every step forward, even when you feel uncertain, is an act of defiance against doubt. And in those moments, you don't just rise, you soar, creating a version of yourself that doubt can no longer touch. Investing in growth is the most powerful gift you can give yourself, because growth transforms you into someone stronger, wiser, and more capable than yesterday. It is the commitment to never remain stagnant, to refuse the comfort of mediocrity, and to continuously evolve into your highest self. Growth doesn't happen by accident. It happens when you intentionally choose to stretch yourself, challenge yourself, and step beyond the limits that once defined you. It begins with your mind. What you feed your thoughts shapes the person you become. Reading, learning, exploring new ideas, these are the seeds of mental expansion. When you cultivate curiosity and refuse to stop learning, you create a mind that is sharp, resilient, and unshakable. Growth is also about skills, developing talents, honing abilities, and pushing yourself to master the areas that matter to your dreams. Every new skill you acquire adds another layer of strength to your foundation, another weapon to your arsenal. But growth isn't just intellectual, it's emotional and spiritual too. It means doing the inner work, healing wounds, confronting fears, and building the kind of resilience that keeps you standing tall even when life tries to knock you down. It's about investing time in your body as well, taking care of your health, your energy, and your presence, because your physical state fuels the way you show up in the world. Investing in growth also requires patience and discipline. It's the small, consistent steps that shape transformation. The early mornings, the extra effort, the willingness to keep going when no one is watching. And with every effort, you elevate yourself. You start to notice that the things which once seemed impossible begin to feel natural, and the challenges that once shook you now become stepping stones on your journey. Growth makes you undeniable because it's proof that you refuse to stay the same in a world that's constantly changing. Setting boundaries is not about being cold, distant, or unkind. It's about protecting your peace, your energy, and your sense of self-worth. It is an act of self-respect, a declaration that says, I know my value and I will not allow anyone to diminish it. Boundaries are the invisible lines that separate what empowers you from what drains you, and they are essential for living a life of strength and dignity. When you set boundaries, you are not pushing people away. You are simply choosing to honor yourself first. You are saying no to things that do not align with your growth, your happiness, or your purpose. And that no is not a rejection. It is a powerful affirmation of what you deserve. The truth is, people treat you based on what you allow. If you allow constant disrespect, it becomes the norm. If you stand tall and make it clear where the line is drawn, others are forced to rise to the level of respect you demand. Boundaries are not just about relationships with others. They are also about your relationship with yourself. It's knowing when to say, I need rest, or I need space to heal, or I will not compromise my dreams for temporary comfort. It's about refusing to shrink your light just because it makes someone else uncomfortable. Boundaries are not walls to keep people out. They are gates that protect your heart, your energy, and your vision. And yes, sometimes setting boundaries means disappointing others. It means walking away from what doesn't serve you, even if it once felt familiar. But that's the beauty of it. Boundaries filter out what isn't meant for you, so only the people, opportunities, and energies that align with your strength can remain. In the end, boundaries are not a restriction, they are freedom. They free you to live authentically, to focus on what matters, and to build a life that reflects your worth. Elevating your standards means refusing to accept less than what you know you deserve. It's about setting the bar so high that mediocrity, disrespect, or half-hearted effort cannot survive in your world. Too often people settle. They settle for relationships that drain them, jobs that suffocate them, or environments that dull their shine. Why? Because they are afraid of asking for more. But the truth is, you do not get what you deserve. You get what you demand. And demanding better starts with raising your standards. When you elevate your standards, you shift the way you show up for yourself. You stop entertaining excuses. You stop tolerating the bare minimum. You stop giving unlimited chances to situations that prove they cannot meet your worth. Instead, you align your energy with excellence. Excellence in your work, in your relationships, in your self-care, in every area of your life. Raising your standards is not about arrogance, it's about self-respect. It's saying, I will no longer settle for crumbs when I am worthy of the feast. And here's the beautiful part. When you elevate your standards, the world responds. The wrong people fall away, but the right opportunities find their way to you. The more you expect from yourself, the more others rise to match that energy. Suddenly, you are no longer chasing approval, you are attracting it. You are no longer begging to be chosen. You are the one doing the choosing. Elevating your standards also means being consistent with yourself. It's easy to raise the bar once, but it takes strength to hold it there, especially when temptation, loneliness, or fear try to pull you back into old patterns. This is where discipline comes in. This is where you remind yourself that your future is too valuable to be traded for temporary comfort. Every time you stick to your higher standards, you prove to yourself and to the world that you are not replaceable, not negotiable, and not afraid to demand the best. Mastering self-love is the foundation of everything. Your confidence, your relationships, your success, and the way the world perceives you. Self-love is not about vanity, it's about value. It's the quiet but unshakable belief that you are worthy of care, respect, and greatness simply because you exist. When you master self-love, you stop chasing validation from the outside because you've already built it within. Self-love begins with how you speak to yourself. Those inner conversations shape the way you move through the world. Are you feeding yourself with doubt, or are you lifting yourself with words of power? Self-love means catching those moments of self-criticism and replacing them with affirmations of strength. It's saying, I am enough, even when the world is screaming otherwise. It also means treating yourself as a priority, not an afterthought. Too often, people pour endlessly into others and forget to refill their own cup. But when you love yourself deeply, you recognize that you cannot show up fully for anyone else until you show up for you. That means nourishing your body, protecting your energy, and allowing yourself rest without guilt. It means making choices that align with your growth, even if they require walking away from what once felt safe. Mastering self-love also transforms how others treat you. People mirror the way you value yourself. If you carry yourself like someone worthy of respect, people will treat you with respect. If you accept mistreatment, others will believe it's acceptable. But when you radiate self-love, you set the tone, without needing to say a word, that you will not settle for less than you deserve. Self-love is not a destination. It's a daily practice. It's in the boundaries you enforce, the standards you hold, the dreams you chase, and the way you forgive yourself for mistakes while still demanding better. And when you master it, you become untouchable, because your worth is no longer up for debate. It is the unshakable truth you live by every single day. Every setback you face is not a sign of defeat. It's a setup for a comeback. Life doesn't spare anyone from challenges, failures, or disappointments. You will fall. You will stumble. You will hit walls that feel impossible to break through. But here's the thing. The power isn't in the fall. It's in how you rise. Turning setbacks into comebacks means refusing to let temporary pain define your permanent story. When you encounter a setback, you have two choices. Let it break you or let it build you. The people who rise to greatness are not the ones who never failed. They are the ones who refuse to stay down. Setbacks are opportunities in disguise. They teach you resilience, sharpen your focus, and give you the kind of wisdom you could never gain from comfort. They strip away the noise and force you to ask, how badly do I want this? And if your answer is enough to try again, you're already on the path to your comeback. Turning setbacks into comebacks also requires shifting perspective. Instead of asking, why me? Start asking, what is this teaching me? Instead of drowning in the disappointment of what didn't work, channel that energy into creating what will. Every rejection becomes redirection. Every closed door becomes proof that something better is waiting. And every failure becomes fuel to push harder, climb higher, and fight smarter. The beauty of a comeback is that it makes your story unforgettable. People will always remember the one who got knocked down but rose with even more fire. They will remember the one who didn't just survive adversity but thrived because of it. A setback is just a chapter, but your comeback, that's the headline. It's the part of your journey that proves you are not replaceable, not forgettable, and absolutely unstoppable. Living a masterpiece life means refusing to exist in the shadows of mediocrity and instead creating a life that feels like art, bold, beautiful, and uniquely yours. It's about designing every choice, every step, and every chapter with intention. A masterpiece is not rushed. It's crafted with patience, detail, and vision. And so is your life. You are not here to settle for good enough. You are here to create something extraordinary with the time, energy, and gifts you've been given. This begins with vision. A masterpiece life requires you to dream without apology, to imagine the impossible, and to see yourself in places others cannot even picture. It's about daring to want more, for yourself, your future, and the impact you leave behind. It's not about fitting into someone else's frame. It's about painting your own canvas with the colors that reflect your soul. But a masterpiece is not perfect, and neither is life. There will be mistakes, messy strokes, and unexpected turns. Yet that's what gives it depth. The scars, the struggles, the lessons, they are not blemishes, they are brush strokes of character. They make your story richer, more powerful, and more authentic. A masterpiece life isn't flawless, it's fearless. Living this way also means refusing to dim your light for the comfort of others. Too many people shrink themselves to fit into spaces that were never meant for them. But a masterpiece demands space. It demands to be seen, admired, and remembered. So, step into your greatness unapologetically. Walk into rooms like you belong there because you do. Speak your truth like it matters because it does. Shape your days in a way that leaves no doubt you were here, you mattered, and you left your mark. And perhaps the most powerful part of living a masterpiece life is that it's not just about what you achieve. It's about who you become in the process. It's about living with passion, courage, and authenticity. It's about refusing to live small and instead creating a life so vibrant, so purposeful that it inspires others to rise and create their own masterpiece alongside you. Rewriting your narrative means taking back the pen and refusing to let anyone else define your story. Too often, people get trapped in labels, in old mistakes, in the versions of themselves that no longer exist. They let the world's opinions, past failures, or temporary circumstances dictate their identity. But you are not obligated to live in a script someone else wrote for you. You are the author, the director, and the main character of your life. Rewriting your narrative begins with courage, the courage to let go of who you were yesterday and step into who you're meant to be today. It's choosing to stop introducing yourself by your scars and instead by your strength. It's about refusing to be boxed in by what happened to you and instead focusing on what you chose to do with it. This is not about pretending the past didn't happen. It's about using it as material for a new story. Every failure becomes the setup for triumph. Every heartbreak becomes the foundation for wisdom. Every detour becomes the redirection towards something greater. You have the power to shift the plot at any moment by changing the way you see yourself and the way you show up in the world. And when you rewrite your narrative, you reclaim control. You no longer wait for permission to rise. You declare it for yourself. You no longer let circumstances define your worth. You define it by the standards you set. People may doubt you, misunderstand you, or cling to the outdated version of you they once knew, but that is not your burden to carry. Their perspective does not imprison you. You are free to reinvent, to transform, to evolve into the masterpiece you were always meant to become.